Hey y'all. I know it's been a really long time. I have really just been busy, but also haven't been posting YouTube videos a priority. I've been more focused on like Instagram and stuff like that. So I just have not been, I don't think I posted since like January, maybe February. So please don't be too mad at me. I just cannot find the consistency with YouTube, y'all. Like, I think for me, I really post videos when I feel like God is telling me post a video. And that's perfect because it leads directly into kind of why I'm making this video and what I actually want to talk about. So, since February or January, whichever was the last time I posted, I'm pretty sure it was January. Obviously, we're in October, so a lot has happened in between those times. And so, not to get into specifics, but right now, the reason why I'm making this video is because I feel like I am in a season where God is growing me up. I'm gonna say that again. I feel like I'm in a season where God is growing me up. So I don't know, to put it into perspective, it's like as a kid, your parents grow you up. Your parents teach you right from wrong. Your parents say, hey, don't do that, do this instead. Because you're a kid and you literally don't know, like you're literally looking to them for like all the answers. Like, I don't know how to navigate life. I don't know how to pick a spoon up and eat food, like they grow you up. But I feel like I'm in a space right now, and I've never been in this space. I feel like I'm in a space right now where I feel like God is growing me up. Obviously I'm an adult. So I'm not necessarily looking to my parents to grow me up, but I'm more so going to my parents for advice and like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And before this season that I was in, I feel like I was more so, I don't know, I guess life was growing me up, I feel like. But right now, I feel like I'm in a season where God is growing me up. And I'm saying that because I literally have had things that happened recently in my life where I'm literally hearing God say, okay, no, do this instead. Like all of the things that you used to do, all of the things that you used to do to navigate relationships and the way you maybe used to treat people in the past, the way you might have thought about things in the past, you need to completely change how you think about things. And for an example, one big thing about me is that I have always had a really big, strong personality, but also strong-minded. I've always been very confident in my choices and the things that I believe in. And so because of that, I tend to kind of always think I'm right. Not in a like, what's the word? I don't want to say cocky. That's not the word I'm talking about. Not in a y'all know the other word I'm talking about and I can't think about right now. But not in a like, I think I'm better than you way, but more so in just like, I know I'm right. Like, it's not to boast. It's not that I think I'm smarter than anybody. It's just a lot of the times in my experience in life, I be right about things. And so it's just really based off of me, just the pattern of me being right about a lot of things that I say. And so because of that, I tend to think like, well, you're wrong because what I think is right. And so I'm having to unlearn, like, just because somebody does something differently than I do or has a different opinion than I do doesn't mean they're wrong. And that takes a lot of emotional intelligence to kind of take a step back and not take things personal, but just take that as that's their opinion, that's their choice. And that's something that I'm working through. And it sounds so simple, but not for me because I've always just been like, no, I'm right. And a lot of times I am right. But I'm learning to not go into things with that mindset and not going to things always like you wrong, like with my guard up, ready to like be combative. And so leaving space for things to be like, oh, you think this way, I think that way, and that's okay. This is big, y'all. Like, and not to say that I'm always tit for tat, but I don't know. I just tend to think I'm right about stuff. And so I'm having to kind of learn that two things can be true at the same time. And it's crazy because I was just watching Pastor Mike Todd at Transformation Church. Well, I wasn't there. I was watching it online on Sunday, and he literally brought this up in his sermon, and he said two things can be true at once. And he was bringing up this story in the Bible where I guess it was a group of people. I don't know all the details. Please don't judge me. A group of people that were basically pulled from their land and were enslaved for like all these years. And then, you know, as time went on, those people had kids and stuff like that. And so eventually they were able to go back to their original land. And the people that knew the original land and were living on that original land were so sad when they came back because it was nothing like how they left it. But then the people that didn't know the original land and that were maybe born, you know, into that slavery, into that bad environment, came home to the land and were so excited because they were free. And so it was just to say that, like, while somebody can be joyful, somebody can be mourning. Two things can be true at the exact same time, but that doesn't take away from what each person is experiencing. And he also gave the example of like a football game or any sports game. You know, when the Cavs shoot a three, I'm excited, but the other team is mad, you know? And so vice versa. Like, I'm excited, but then it's somebody at home that's, you know, rooting for the opposing team that's like mad, like, dang, like we about to lose this game. And so it's just to show that like two things can be true at once, and it doesn't mean that somebody's wrong. Two things can be true at the same time. So that's one lesson that I'm learning. The second lesson that I'm learning, and they kind of go hand in hand, but the second lesson that I'm learning is that just because something doesn't look the way you would do it doesn't mean it's wrong. And it goes back to like me thinking like I'm right. Like, what are you talking about? Like the way I do it. And it's like if you only seen people do things the way you've done them, of course you're going to think that like, oh, my way is right because that's all you've seen. But you know, there are multiple, and I don't really care for this saying, but there are multiple ways to skin a cat. Like, there are many ways to get to the same place. It just, the process in which you get there may look different. And so I'm really having to like, okay, like I know what it looks like for me to get to from point A to point B, but what it looks like from somebody else to get from point A to point B could look completely different. And I have to respect that. And I have to know that like that is their process, like not mine. And it's not my job to try to make their process look like my process because we're two different people. And so those are my two lessons. This is not going to be a long video, but I have really been feeling called to get into the word more and really, really hone in on what God is telling me to do and really, really listen. And so because of that, I have actually been like consistently reading the Bible. I have never consistently read the Bible ever in my life. Have I gone to church? Yes, but I've never actually like sought out the word and like sought out, like, let me actually see what this book talking about. You know, people, we keep talking about this book. Let me crack it open. And so that's what I've been doing the last, I would say 6 weeks or so. And I've been trying to, you know, listen to what I'm reading, not listen to what I'm reading, but, you know, digest what I'm reading and put it into context of like real world situations. And so those are the few things that have kind of really been sitting with me. And I also got the saying, God is growing you up, from Mike Todd. That sermon, he was really dropping some gems, okay? And I don't know, something about that, he said, let God grow you up. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like this is literally how I feel right now. Like I feel like God is growing me up. And for me, I know what the growing up, I know what I know what the destination is for the grow up, at least for what I think it is. My destination for the grow up is becoming a better woman. But honestly, you know, we be thinking we women and we grown, but like, are we really women? Like, are we really like the womanhood? Like, are we there yet? And it's like, you really be thinking that you know something and you realize you really don't. Like, Womanhood is a different type of hood. And I'm really realizing that. And you really do have to mature a lot. And it's the same thing for men. But obviously I can't speak on manhood because I'm not a man. But at least as a woman, I know that like the destination for me is like really becoming a woman and like really stepping into womanhood. Like I'm 26. Technically I'm a woman, I'm grown, but like it's a different level than I was thinking about things maybe like 4 years ago. Like 22-year-old me versus 26-year-old me. 22-year-old me was not stepping into womanhood. But I feel like 26-year-old me is like, okay, stepping into womanhood. Like, what does this look like? And, you know, a lot of the things come up for me. It's just like grace. Knowing when to speak versus when to just be quiet. And I know some people might take it the wrong way, but and I've always believed that there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time to say something and there's a time to not say something. Like you gotta know when to cut it on and cut it off. Like we can't always just be at the mouth. And I love a good yap. I love a good talk, but you gotta know when it's time to, okay, it's just time to listen right now. You don't always gotta have something to say. And I'm talking to myself. You don't always gotta have something to say. So womanhood. And for me, womanhood is becoming a wife, but also hopefully becoming a mother. And so it's just a different level. And I'm neither one of those things right now, but I feel myself stepping into that for whoever I am meant to be with. And so that's where I'm at. Like, I feel myself really stepping into a different level of me, but more specifically, a level of womanhood. And I'm excited. And it's testing me, y'all. It's really testing me. I'm having to unlearn a lot of things. I'm having to kind of check myself like, wait, like you just had that thought that, you know, it's going backwards. Fix it. And so I've been literally having to fix my thoughts in real time while they're happening in my head. So this is all. That is it. That is all. This is what I got for y'all. And I'm going to just make videos as I feel. Oh my goodness. I recorded this the wrong way. It's okay. It's still going to get posted. Anywho, I'm going to create videos as they come to me. As God says, like, hey, make a video about this. That's what I'm gonna do, y'all. I'm not gonna force it. And I think that's why for me, like, I just don't be tripping on social media. Like, I'm not gonna force things. If I feel it, I'll do it. But like, it's not something that I'm like, I don't want it to feel like a job. I want it to just feel like release. I want it to just feel like creativity. I just want it to feel good. I'm not really looking for it to be too crazy, you know? So here we are. Also, y'all see my locks? Like, they're really giving. It's been a while, but we are 10 months in, going on 11. And my girls are they're really doing their thing. She's really doing her thing. And I'm so happy because, like, they really look good. So, yeah, that's it. More videos coming soon as I feel the need to post.